Camera rolling, 24th of March. Hi folks, welcome. Just here in the studio, had a big clean up because we've got a workshop coming in this morning. Right now it's like 9 o'clock in the morning. We start at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. And I just thought I'd do a very little quick video of my studio in a clean state. And just talk about one or two things maybe in preparing for a workshop. Maybe some of you out there do run workshops. And you know, I'll just show you my workshop and how I organize it before a workshop. It might be helpful to somebody out there. By no means my workshop is necessarily perfect. I'm not saying that. It's just to share with you just one or two things that you might find helpful. So let's go. Well, it goes without saying, of course, you need to have a clean up, don't you? As potters, we do sometimes tend to get a little bit messy, and we need to, especially after the winter, we need to have a good clear up. One of the things I always make sure is before a workshop, especially this time of year, is that it's probably going to be cold. It's actually a nice day, but it's still pretty cool in here. It's 50 degrees now. I've got the stove going, so that's probably number one on my list. Get the place nice and warm for people, because people do not want to come into a cold studio. Okay, so I do that. I also assist the wood stove here with a fan here, which I don't have it on at the moment because it makes a little bit of a noise. But that does make a really big difference to the distribution of heat in here, and makes the stove kick out a lot more heat. So I thoroughly recommend that. Each wheel station, of course, I clean them up. Everybody has a mirror and a rule, preferably a clean mirror, but you know, a water pot, also clean wear board, essential. You should have that, and a light that they can turn on and off as they want. Okay. Just moving around the room here, showing you here another wheel station. There we do have an AC unit, but we don't need it now, of course, in March, but that's good to have. Just showing you a little bit of the prep here for this. My wheel here, which will be for doing demos, I also have a light. So every once in a while I gather people around and say, come on, leave your wheels, come over here, let me show you this, sort of thing. Another little wheel station here. A little bit of space around for putting bits and bobs, you know. My Randall wheel here, which has its already sort of built in around shelving there. And lastly, this wheel here, my 6th wheel. I can actually take 7 on a workshop. I do have another wheel. So what else can I say? Yes, I have a little bit of music, which I play from my iPad up to a speaker up here. So we have a little bit of music going in the background, not too loud, but you know. Coffee. We have a coffee maker here. I usually put out some cookies or something. We also have an electric kettle for people who want to have tea. We have a small refrigerator here for bottles of water, or for people to put their packed lunch. Central to the studio is a big long table, or it's actually 2 tables. And that's sort of centrally positioned in the studio, so we can all walk around it and we can knead our clay there. On the floor there is this soft interlocking matting which goes all around the table and also across here to the sink. Here at the sink as well, have a light, just a general sort of this is a sort of workstation here, so try and keep it a little bit organized and clean. So a towel here for wiping hands. That's probably just about it. As you see, there's some of my work around on the shelves. Still, I don't feel it's necessary to clear everything out. You want to leave some pots. People like to see stuff, don't they? So, okay. I hope that might be useful to you. It goes without saying, you need to, I think, make sure people are warm, comfortable, relaxed. You know, a cup of coffee, some background music. Another thing I do is I write the list of names of people that are coming. We put them on a sticky so that they can put it on their either on the front of their apron or on their shoulder here. That helps me know who they are, and also amongst themselves it helps them too. So I'll be writing out those names now shortly. Yes, there's probably other things I haven't mentioned, but that was this is a very quick clip, just a general chat about preparing the workshop, and for you to see that my workshop is not always a garbage tip of everything like you might think it is sometimes. It's good to keep things fairly. It's funny actually, because people come here sometimes and I think my workshop is in a terrible state because I haven't cleaned it really, you know. Of course, it goes without saying, sweep the floor. I didn't mention that, but yes, sweep the floor. But people do come in often and say, oh, wow, you got it really nice and tidy in here. I'm thinking, well, do you think so? Okay, good. Well, if it appears so, I'm more than happy. But to me, it doesn't always look that way. So yeah, do drop by. Join us for a workshop, why don't you? Have your own wheel, your own clay. And how I teach is basically to demonstrate. I basically do a little bit of theory, you know, after people get settled in. One of the things I do is I let people choose their wheel, and basically the first people who get here get the first choice of a wheel. So the people who get here last, well, then they don't get so much choice. But I generally go around and I say, come on, let's have a look at your pottery tools. So we like to have a little talk about the tools initially, briefly, and then people will find their wheel. I ask them, make sure you're comfortable, make sure is your seat the right height, because there's all sorts of people different. We've all got different shaped bodies, haven't we? So, some people have got like bad backs and they don't want to be on that kind of seat, etc., etc. So just to get people comfortable. The first initial part of the workshop is just getting people settled as much as anything. And that's my aim, to get them to feel comfortable, settled, relaxed, not under any pressure. And then basically, we get some clay out. I have clay here, which is, I sometimes have some of my recycled clay, but I'll have new clay as well. I want to make sure that the clay, of course, is not too hard, You want to make it nice and wedgeable. ready to go. And also, I had the stove going in the studio last night a bit here to otherwise the temperature can drop in here, and then the clay is like slabs of wet ice, if you know what I mean. So it's good that this is not too cold now, you see. It's because we've did a little bit of thinking ahead of time. So that is helpful. Gosh, there's probably other things. After I sign off this video, I'll probably think, oh, I should have said such and such. I should have said such and such. Yes. So now is the lull before the storm. I'm just sort of casting my eye around the studio thinking, do we need this? Do we need that? And I think we're good to go. So please join us for a workshop. Meanwhile, keep practicing. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.